Hello everyone. Let us discuss today about the different types of symbiotic relationship. So there are five different types of symbiotic relationship. The mutualism, communalism, parasitism, predation, and competition. So let us discuss first the mutualism. Mutualism is a relationship in biology or sociology in which two living things benefit from each other. So the first example is the oxpecker and zebra or rhinos. The oxpecker avian lives on the zebra or rhino and eats all the bugs and parasites residing on either of the two. At the same time, whenever there is dangerous to the zebra or rhino, the birds fly high to alert other animals to a predator. The second example is spider crab and algae. Spider crabs spend their time in a few of the most shallow areas of the sea. The algae on their back serve as the camouflage to hide the crabs from the predator. So the third example is ants and fungus. Ants make fungus from the leaves and their feces. When the fungus grows, the ant eats them in order to live. So the fourth example is the nitrogen-fixing bacteria and legumes. This bacteria lives in the legumes roots here where they transform nitrogen to ammonia, which is needed for the plant for growth and development. So the last example is the human and animal. So the human-animal bond is a mutual beneficial and dynamic relationship between people and animals that is influenced by behaviors essential to the health and well-being of both. So the second symbiotic relationship is the communalism. Communalism is a type of symbiotic relationship in which one species benefits while the other species is neither harm or help nor help. So the first example is the tree frogs and the plants or tree. So tree frogs use large leafy plants and trees in the rainforest to protect themselves from rain. This does not affect the plants or trees, but it helps the frog to stay safe. So the second example is cattle egrets eat the insects stirred up by the cattle. When they are grazing, the cattle are unaffected while the cattle egrets gain food. So the third example of communalism relationship is the burdock plant produce spiny seeds that cling to the fur of animals or clothing of humans. The plants rely on this method of seeds there's dispersal for reproduction, while the animals are unaffected. The fourth example is the jackal alerts the tiger to a kill and feeds on the remains of the prey left by tiger. This is not a mutualism relationship as the tiger does not provide anything to the jackal. So the last example of communalism is the nurse plant and the seedlings. Nurse plants are larger plants that offer protection to seedlings from the weather and herbivores, giving them an opportunity to grow. So the third symbiotic relationship is the parasitism. A parasitic relationship is one in which one organism, the parasite, lives off of another organism, the host, harming it and possibly causing death. The parasite lives on or in the body of the host. So the first example is the fish and the parasitic lice or worms. Lice are free-swimming crustaceans that attach themselves to fish and feed on their blood. A heavy infection A heavy infestation can weaken a goldfish from blood loss to the point where it will die. Signs of infestation is when fish are seen rubbing themselves vigorously against any available object in the pond or aquarium. So the second example is tapeworms and to a dog. Tapeworms do not normally cause serious health problems in adult dogs. Occasionally, dogs will drag their bottoms on the ground, a behavior known as squatting, in order to calm irritation associated with the proglottids. Note that squatting can also occur for other reasons such as impacted anal sacs. The third example is the body lice and human. Body lice are only found on humans on the body. Infestation are generally spread by close contact with other people and are typically found in areas of poor hygiene and crowded. So, ito yung magkokos ng itchy sa ulo natin. Tapos yung mga lice is nagsasak sila ng blood. So the fourth example is Demodex eyelash mites. You probably got this happily. You should go your life without noticing. These little mites are way less harmful than most of the other parasites listed. They usually cause no symptoms at all. At worst, people with compromised immune system or sensitive skin might get a rash when the mites bite. So the last example is the mistletoe and the tree. Mistletoe is the common name of obligate hemiparasitic plants in the order Santalales. They are attached to their host tree or shrub by a structure called the hosterium, through which they extract water and nutrients from the host plant. Their parasitic lifestyle has led to some dramatic changes in their metabolism. So the fourth symbiotic relationship is the predation. Predation is a biological interaction where one organism, the predator, kills and eats another organism, which is called prey. So the first example is lion and zebra. Lions hunt large hoofed animals such as zebras. They also scavenge on smaller prey when necessary. The second example is bear and fish. When bears catches a fish, they usually carry it into a secluded spot in the forest to eat away from other bears who may try to steal it. A bear normally eats about a quarter of the fish, concentrating on the fattest portion, such as the brains, skin, and eggs, if there are any left. So the next one is the fox and the rabbit. Predator-prey relationship between the fox and rabbit population, since foxes thrive in the presence of rabbits and rabbits thrive in the absence of foxes. The next one is the gray wolf and the boar. The gray wolf is the main predator of the wild boar throughout most of its range. A single wolf can kill around 50 to 80 boars of differing ages in 1 year. So the last example of predation is the fly traps and the bugs. Fly traps lure insects by the reddish lining in the leaves and by secreting a fragrant nectar. When bugs land in the jaws of the fly trap, it doesn't clamp down right away. Sensory hairs called trichomes on the inside of the petals essentially count the movements from the insects. The predator here is the fly trap and the prey is the bugs. So the last symbiotic relationship types is the competition. Competition is another example of harm and interaction. Plants may compete for available nutrients, water, sunlight, and soil. Another compete with both members of the same species and with other species for resources, food, and hiding places to avoid predators. There are two types of competition relationship: the inter-specific competition and intra-specific competition. So, the two examples of inter-specific competition is between the lions and the leopards that vie for similar prey. The second example is a farm of rice paddies with the weeds growing in the field. Um, the next example is the intra-specific competition. The first one is the barnacles competing for space on rocks, from which they filter water to obtain their foods. Plants using chemical compounds to discourage competitors, even those from the same species, and preventing them from growing too close. The last example is the sprouts. When sprouts grow from seeds scattered closely together on the ground, some seedlings will be able to grow faster than others and will inhibit the growth of less vigorous seedlings by overshadowing or overcrowding them. So that's all for today, and thank you very much.